So, hey Omnes, I am Rubenus, and today we're playing the indie game Gone Home. Now, there is a little bit of criticism for this game that I will get into, which is rightfully deserved. It is a nice little story, but other than that, again, it's just kind of a walking simulator. Let's go for a new game. Overwrite, yes. Whatever, start. Yeah, it's a nice little story, but there are some problems with the setting and the background to it. I like this a good bit. This is kind of, from what I recall, one of the like a walking simulator that kind of kicked off the whole genre because people realized you could use games to really just tell a story, and that's pretty much it.
Hi, Mom. So I got my ticket home from Europe. I get back on June 6th, but it's a really late flight because that was the cheapest, so it gets in at midnight. But don't worry, I'll get a shuttle from the airport so you don't have to pick me up. Like, really seriously, you don't have to. Okay, so, love you. See you soon. Bye.
Okay, so the overall story is that a family. So there's a family of 4 parents and 2 daughters. The elder daughter was out in Europe traveling around. She left, came back, and now the new house that they inherited from family is gone. Everybody's gone, so she's trying to figure out what's going on here. Alright, so Katie, I'm sorry I can't be there to see you, but it is impossible. Please don't go digging around trying to find out where I am. I don't want anybody, Mom and Dad, to know. We'll see each other again someday. Don't be worried. I love you, Sam. Sam is the younger sister, so obviously she kind of ran away, and we're trying to figure out what happened. And so the controversy or the criticism that I have and a lot of people have with this game is, as you can already tell, it seems kind of horrific. It seems like a horror game. Other than the lightning, the rain, and the complete darkness, there are no horror elements. There are no jump scares besides one jump scare that you have to go looking for. You have to go looking for that jump scare. So there's no reason that this game should have been made kind of scary for no reason. Wellsprings Movers Inc. So this is them moving in. Boxes Kitchen 8, Master Bed 5, Overweight Library. I guess they were overweight. Up because of boxes 10. Boxes Office 4, television 24 inches, television 14 inches, which is pathetic. Thinking of today's terms, because most people are buying like 50 to 65 inch TVs. So there's each one. Continue to attach, whatever. Grand balance was $2,750.
Dear Katie, so much has changed, even just since you've been away. We moved into this house. I'm in a new school. And my big sister being gone for a year doesn't make it any easier. It doesn't feel real. But I'm not gonna let it faze me. I used to tell you everything, and if I can't do it in person, because you're off gallivanting around who knows where, I'll tell it to this journal. Just like I was talking to you.
So the whole point of this is that there's like 30 or so entries, or like points of interest you can find. Some of them have dialogue, some of them are just notes. But you gotta find certain ones, go through the house, and then eventually figure out what happened to your sister. Here's one. Sam, Daniel from the old neighborhood called. He wants to come see the new house. Call him back. Bam! Daniel is a total weirdo. The only reason I ever hung out with him in the first place is he had a Nintendo when we were little. Well, that's rude of you. Using this man for his video games. Yeah, so again, as you can tell, everything's dark, it's mysterious, you can't really see anything. Welcome, new student. We hope that you're excited about your first day at Goodfellow High School as we are. Please be sure to bring the follow-up items with you in your first day to classes so that we can get right into the swing of things. 1 sturdy folder with pockets for each of your 6 class periods. Okay, 1 9-lined notebook per period, or 1 large notebook with 6 divided sections. At least 6 pens. That's a lot of pens. Blue or black ink and 6 pencils. However, I'm sure that being high schoolers and middle schoolers, they will lose these things very frequently. Trust me, there was a reason that I, as a teacher, had boxes of just pencils and pens, because I knew that people would lose them or forget them. One box of colored pencils, a standard combination lock for your assigned locker, a nutritious lunch, I don't know why they specific that, or $2.50 for a lunch provided by the school cafeteria. A positive attitude, absolutely not, which obviously they didn't bring with them. Please remember to get plenty of sleep the night before. No, and be ready for the first bell to ring at 8 a.m. Even as a teacher, I didn't get plenty, especially on the first day. Nah. See you soon, and again, welcome, Beth Valentine, Balance Principal. Don't know where you get that in the signature. There's none of those letters there.
Oh my god. You are so lucky you finished high school before we moved into this house. So, it's the first day of school, and there I am, introducing myself to the class, and I say that I just moved into the house on Arbor Hill. All of a sudden, every kid in the room turns and just stares like I suddenly transformed into a mutant. I just stood there, wishing pretty hard for a rewind button. Because now maybe nobody knows my name, but they all know who I am. The Psycho House Girl. Great.
So here's one of the postcards from Paris. Paris? I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't know French, and I don't like the French language. Hi, Mom, Dad, and Sam. I'm in Paris. I have done many Parisian things, including eating les petites... I don't know how to pronounce that at all. Not even going to try that one. And for wearing a beret. I know how to pronounce that one. I'm going to have lots of film to develop when I get back. Sam, I'm bringing you back something from the Shakespeare Book Company, since you are my favorite sister. Love you all. Mom and Dad, 1 Arbor Hill, weird, Boone County, Oregon, 9, yeah. So, again, it's weird because they literally moved out of, so they moved into this house either while she was away or, like, right before she left. Oscar Doc Mason. Oscar Mason, 60 of Boone County, died peacefully last month in his home. Mr. Mason was born on September 8, 1933, in the house that would be his home for the rest of his life. He attained his degree in pharmacy at a young age and returned to Boone County to practice. He quickly became a well-loved figure at the center of the community. In the decades preceding his passing, he was seldom seen outside his home. A service will be held this Sunday at the First Methodist Church at 1 p.m. All are welcome. His survivors include his nephew, Terrence Greenbrier, as well as in spirit the people of Boone County to whom he provided wellness and comfort. So John is the person who owns the family that owned this house. Playing cards. A picture of Sam? No. This is Sam's friend. Again, I would just like to reiterate, although there's a lot of horror elements for no reason, there are no jump scares or horrific things. There's one jump scare, you have to go looking for it, and I don't remember where exactly it is. You basically pick up a crucifix and a light explodes. Electrical inspection form, Terrence Greenbrier, 1 Arbor Hill, Boone County. I'm going to skip that if I see that again. Wiring in the house is technically up to safety and amperage requirements. However, multiple layers of wiring have been added into the structure over the last 100 years, which makes sense because it's old as shit. 1933, electricity was kind of new in houses, so obviously. System is frequently unpredictable. Lights blink out for no reason. No clear reason. Pressure on floorboards and door frames disrupt the circuits wired directly behind the surface. Properly reworking the electrical system would be highly disruptive to the walls, floor, and fixtures of the structure. After discussing with Mrs. Greenbrier, since there are no current safety concerns, issues will not be addressed. I feel like they should have been addressed. Spec. So we get a box of Dad's second book, The Accidental Pariah, which is JFK. A message from our future saved the president's life once, but within the next 24 hours there will be another attempt, and the lines of communication are down. A James Bond for today's audience. Compelling. A thriller worth its salt. Man. Stranger Under My Roof. The number one best-selling advice for the parents of teens. A stranger under the roof, understanding teens. The teen years are fraught with change of all types, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. But these changes don't just affect your teen. Your teen's turbulent years are a change for parents as well. Maybe the biggest challenge you faced since having children. This book holds insights into your teen's behavior from the very beginning as he or she, first enters adolescence up through the end of the teen years as he or she enters the young adulthood. I would just keep saying teen or they. The practical strategies are based upon well-tested principles of pediatric psychology presented by Dr. Elisa. I'm going to go with Elisa? Elisa. I actually don't know this name. Elisa Medina, herself a mother of two teenagers, prepare to gain new tools for establishing a productive, healthy, and loving dialogue with a stranger under your roof. I've never had such a good conversation with my daughter. These simple tools can make all the difference in a relationship with your child. I'm sure that they can. Yeah. So the thing I love about this game, is that there are plenty of secrets. You find out about this later on, but if you know that they're there, if you get close enough, you can just pull it out, which I like because a lot of games put in what are called triggers, which means you cannot activate a certain thing in a game unless you have activated something else, a trigger. So you activate this one thing that lets you get the secret. And what I like about this is that you can, if you know the game, you can kind of just speedrun through the game. So The Misfits, Saturday, October 29th, plus special guest Maidenhead, Stygia, 306 West Franklin Street.
At Todd's brother's place after the show, there was only a futon to sleep on, so Lonnie and I shared it. The lights went out. I was turned toward her. My eyes started to adjust, and then I could see she was looking at me, too. In the dark, she smiled. My heart was beating so fast. I rolled over. I felt so, I don't know, nervous. After a minute, she put her arm around me and was so close and whispered in my ear, "I really like you." I just nodded my head, and I really hope she could tell. I really hope that she meant what I think she did. I felt like a shook-up can of soda ever since. I hope we have the chance to talk before I explode.
First time I've ever heard that expression. So as you can tell, her friend Lonnie is actually not her friend. Well, starts as a friend, but quickly becomes her love interest. Dear Terrence, David asked me to write to you regarding the reviews you've been submitting the last few months. Frankly, they're becoming more trouble than they're worth from an editing standpoint. There's a word limit. It's your job to stay under it, not mine to cut back to it. Even then, it's becoming harder and harder to weed out the tangents and non sequiturs from the usable copy without heavy rewrites. The readers of the home theater aficionado want to hear about the quality and value of the hardware, not ruminations on your childhood. If it were up to me, I wouldn't be writing this letter. I'd just be cutting you loose. There's tons of guys half your age who would take half your rate to write the stuff I could actually use. But David's known you for a long time, and he's the boss, so I'm giving you one more shot on this say-so. On his say-so. You should write him a nice note. Thanking him for his patience and generosity. Look through your old stuff and start submitting reviews like that again. Everybody will be happy. Brent Kirkwood. 0451 0451 0451 0451. I'm going to forget that momentarily. So the dad is a writer. He was a writer. Obviously, his book didn't do so well because now he's writing reviews for a... What happened? The lid just disappears. I guess it's too thin. So as someone who's done stuff in Blender and has started making a game, what happens is that the top of this is too thin, and so when it hits the baseboards, it blends in with it because it kind of goes under the baseboards. They should have either made it thicker or made these boards thinner, but then I don't know. It all causes problems depending on how you do it. Making games is hard. Alright. So back to basics. Sent back in time to Dallas 1963 again. You can do better. What if JFK wasn't JFK? Obviously, he's very stuck on one theme, and that's like, buddy, you need some diversity. That's not how doors work. They open one way for a reason. So these just have snippets of their garage band that they had, and I'm not a big fan of the music, so I'm not gonna listen to that. But it's just basically, it doesn't really add anything to the story. It's just music for them. Terry, hey man, how you been? I know you're a published author and everything now, but my editor at HIF Aficionado has too much review work to go around, and he's looking for another freelancer. Naturally, I thought of you. You were saying in your cast letter that how much. Jesus, you were saying in your cast letter how much of a pain it's been it's been trying to find a publisher for your latest work of literature, and writing stereo reviews is dead simple. Sit at home with a glass of scotch, listen to some records, and write up how it sounds, and then get paid. Sounds like a dream job for me. I've included some issues on the magazine to use as examples. If you're interested, send some samples to my editor and tell him your old college roommate? I don't know what that word is. College whatever. Mike sent you. Here's the address. David Warning. Do it. Mike. So as you quickly find out, the story is more about the relationship between Sam and Milani and how they deal with the parents trying to deal with a teenager who is a lesbian and can't deal with it. So yeah, the story quickly devolves into Sam and Lonnie are lovers. They hide it for a little bit. Obviously, the kid is ashamed because she doesn't know how to tell her parents. This is also written in the 90s when this was not very acceptable or like at all. So yeah, there are some like horror elements where they have, you know, haunting books or whatever, or they talk about the house being haunted, but nothing ever shows up. And I think it's a real distraction. There's no benefit that I see to this issue. Yeah, so it's one of my issues with the game is that it is unnecessarily, like, has too many scary elements. Like, it's fine if it has a little bit of it, and then it kind of backs away from it, but it leans into it for no reason. It doesn't add anything to the game. United States Department of Agriculture, U.S. Forestry Manual, Northwest Region, prescribed burn procedures and precautions. So the mom is a forest ranger, if I remember correctly. Samantha Greenbrier, 9994. Below are 2 stories. The events are all out of order. Get a sheet of lined paper. The right reproductive system working sheet number 6 at the top. Then choose one of the 2 stories, A or B, and rewrite it. Begin the title and your name. Find a topic sentence to begin your paragraph. Put the sentences in chronological order. Make sure the last sentence is a good concluding statement. A. The menstrual cycle. It travels through the fallopian tube. It over-releases the ovum. About 2 weeks later, since the lining of the uterus is not needed for pregnancy, it comes out through the vagina. It is incredible how the female body knows how to prepare for pregnancy. If the egg doesn't meet a sperm, it dissolves. While the ovum is developing, the lining of the uterus is getting thick and soft. Another ovum starts to develop when one of the ovaries, and the process starts again. The ovum starts to develop. I am produced in the testicles. I go from the vas deferens to the urethra, the life of a sperm cell. I go through the cervix and the uterus and into the fallopian tubes in search of an egg cell. I develop for 2 or 3 months in the epididymis. I actually don't know that one. When the penis becomes erect, I leave the epididymis and travel up the body through the vas deferens. And as I pass through the prostate glands, the seminal vessels, and the Cowper's glands, the fluids are added so that I can live longer and swim more easily. Without me, an egg cell couldn't be without the amazing process of reproduction. The urethra carries me, along with about 200 million friends, out of the penis in a process called ejaculation. If I can find the ovum before the sperm do, I will be the winner of a part of a fertilized egg. I will beat everybody else. Samantha Greenbrier, period 4, the reproductive system, worksheet number 6, the menstrual cycle, a novella. The early morning of September 1st, 1939, Essa Glatz stares at the window of the train as it travels from Vienna back at her home village of Walen in Poland. I don't know how to pronounce that one. Walen. As the train rambles along and the sun rises over the countryside, she can only think of her dear Borislav and the boy that she is engaged with to wed. Meanwhile, deep within her guts, a ovum starts to develop. Essa's train approaches the destination. Her heart races. The lining of her uterus is getting thick and soft. As Essa steps off the train, her eyes dart quickly across the gathered crowd. Then there, her dear Boris. Sit still in his baker's smock. He must have dropped his early morning duties at his father's shop to come meet her. Her heart skips a beat. The ovary releases the ovum. It travels through the fallopian tube. Over the wheezing of the steam engines, a deep hum grows. It's coming from the sky. Dark shadows pass over the station, a whistling sound. Essa, her thoughts only a second faster than the bombs, reach out toward her dear Boris across the crowd. Their eyes lock, and the moment freezes. The flash and smoke envelop him almost instantly, and they would also envelop her. If we're talking about World War II, the bombs would also get her. They're not isolated. Bombs don't attack one person. In the assault by German forces, almost 75% of the people in her hometown are killed. The rest, including Essa and, for a time, Borislav, huddle in a half-destroyed church. He is blind, his legs are missing, bandage with torn bed sheets. Essa's egg will not be meeting a sperm. It dissolves. About 2 weeks later, Boris loses his grip on life. Essa has given up on her rations to keep Boris alive, but in the end, nothing can save him. Since the lining of the uterus is not added for pregnancy, it comes out through the vagina. Essa vows to survive. She sets off to join the Polish resistance as a daring spy and saboteur. Another ovum starts to develop in one of the ovaries, and the process begins again. It is incredible how the female body knows how to prepare for pregnancy. See me! I mean, she did the assignment. It was very flowery and kind of dark, and obviously you want to talk to the student about that, but she did the assignment. Again, that's one thing, as someone who was a teacher and someone who dealt with a lot of that shit. I mean, they did the assignment. I'm not taking off for that. I am going to talk to you about this shit. This is unnecessarily dark. Samantha, please give this to your mother. Janice, thank you for having Danny over to your new home. He has missed having his friend Samantha in the neighborhood very much. Danny asked if he could lend Samantha his Nintendo Street Fighting tape, and I gave my permission. He needs to spend less time with those games anyway. No hurry returning it. Let Samantha know that she is welcome back to our house to visit anytime. Sincerely, Mary Shoots.
When you live in one place your whole life, your next door neighbor is kind of like your default friend. And Daniel only got weirder over the years. So moving away has been a good excuse to, not see him anymore. But he did always have the good Nintendo games. Maybe I'll give him a call.
Dear Sir Mr. Greenbrier, I write to inform you that unfortunately Mercury Books would be on pressure to publish your follow-up to The Accidental Pariah. Despite your low sales of The Accidental Savior, we went ahead with publication of the second book in hopes of John Russell's series catching on. However, sales of the second book have in fact been lower than those of the first, and so our stewardship of the series must end there. It has been a pleasure working with you as your publisher, and we wish you, John Russell, the best in your future endeavors. I resonate with that very much. I have written 2 books. The first one sold decently, not very well, but it sold pretty decently. The second one didn't really sell at all. And most of that has to do with the fact that, again, I didn't have good marketing. So obviously no one knows about it. That's why, if you notice, when you look at budgets for movies, that half of the budget is living marketing for that reason. You need to get people to know about your stuff. Hi Lonnie, so if you wanted to come over to my house still this afternoon, that would be cool. I can drive, it's kind of far, but I can drive you home too. So hopefully that's fine. Write back and leave this in my locker if you still want to, and we can meet in the parking lot after 6, Samantha. Yeah, I'm totally in. See you there. Then I'm gonna kick your butt. But get ready. So, Street Fighter.
So you know what they say about the best laid plans of mice and men?
They often go wrong.
Yeah, turns out it applies to Street Fighter too. At least I worked up the courage to walk into the 7-Eleven and ask for a turn, but all that practice at home did not exactly translate in the wild. So after I was finished getting my butt kicked, I followed them outside while they smoked. And that was when she asked me if I was that psycho house girl. But then she said she's always really wanted to see the psycho house. Her name is Lonnie. She's coming over tomorrow.
Let me in. Katie, please tell Mom and Dad sorry about the stuff that's missing. Say it. And then let's find this crumpled note. It's going to be hard to read. Katie, please, whatever you found, don't tell Mom and Dad. The attic. Oh God, not the attic. Dear Jan, it's so good to hear from you again. All this new house business sounds like quite the adventure. Remember that little dorm room we shared freshman year? When we were miserable, fantasizing about our dream homes? I always said I wanted a mansion. You said you just wanted a house in the woods. Look who got both. Somebody up there likes you. I could use some of that magic. Send me some lotto numbers, I'll play them. Seriously. But I shouldn't be complaining about this good old-spirited level we've had since Bob got transferred to Winnipeg. We just got new vinyl siding. Jealous yet? Let me know if you ever want to trade places. So how are the girls doing? How's Katie Has Katie left on her big European adventure yet? Speaking of jealous, right back soon. I miss you, Rumi, Carol. You should be happy with what you have. Notice of temporary personal transfer. Bruce Pendleton, head of personal state forces service. To aid in the upcoming prescribed burdened operation, a ranger with expertise in the procedure is being transferred to the station at Flintlock National Forest, effective 9/2/94. Please see the attached personnel file. The overseeing officer at Flintlock Forestry Station, Senior Constellationist Janice Greenbrier, is charged with the supervision of transferred personnel. The duration of the transfer will be based on a performance evaluation as well as the recommendation of the overseeing officer, signed Bruce Paddington. Paddleton? It looked like some Greek writing for the pie, but that's just nope, just the connecting the T's.
It's weird hanging out with girls. Daniel was around ever since I was little, and other girls? I don't know. But being around Lonnie is like instantly just right. I gave her the grand Psycho House tour and took my revenge on Super Nintendo. And it was like, I don't know, I finally found someone I feel normal around. I drove her home and she gave me this tape and said, "You have got to listen to this." I haven't stopped playing it since.
To whom it may concern, I, Samantha Greenbrier, am 17 years old and therefore an independent, fully functional human being. The fact that you still forbid me from going into the city on my own is, frankly, absurd. Compare that with Katie, who is only 3 years older than me, and yet you allowed her to go all the way across an ocean to another continent on her own. I just want to spend an evening in a normal, totally safe city on my own, like a human being, and since you may also remember that I have my own car now, you can't really stop me. Warmest regards, your daughter, Samantha. Sam, stop leaving every damn light in the house on. You're as bad as your sister. Hey! It's dark in here. Daniel called again. He wants his Nintendo game back. So, this note is very accurate in 2 words. 1, that is how teenagers talk, and 2, that is also how teenagers feel. And what happens is that if you are stifling, if you are also unfair in treatment of children, it becomes really clear. So, it's one of the things where, as someone who was the golden child, and it was very clear that I was the favorite, it was both infuriating to my brother and for my brother, because I would be like, why do you treat my brother this way? He's not that bad. What is this? Super Spitfire. I'm guessing that's supposed to be a mark on Metroid. And Journey of Crystal. Just some random fantasy game. I'm not sure. But yeah, it was infuriating to me because why are you treating my brother like this? And then it was also infuriating that my brother would also get special treatment. So in very similar fashion, my brother's 3 years older than me. And he'd be able to do a lot of things on his own. And I mean, when I was like 15, 16, I still, having proven myself as, you know, a responsible teenager, like, I don't cause trouble. I don't do certain things. My brother would be able to do things on his own that I wouldn't be able to. Adventures the Cat returns. Hey, Sam, do you want to see Pulp Fiction? Wonderful movie. After school at the Coliseum. It came out this last weekend and Todd won't shut up about it, so either it's good or we can make fun of her liking it. My mom is supposed to cook dinner for us I'm not sure what. Cook dinner for us tonight for a change, but I can just ditch out on it probably. What time? Also, isn't that movie supposed to be really violent? Am I going to barf? According to Todd, it's pretty hardcore. I guess Uma Thurman gets stabbed in the heart with a heroin needle, so that's kind of hilarious. Also, something about cheeseburgers is important. Todd wants to see it again. 7:15, okay? Don't barf. Haha, alright, see you there. Barf. Pulp Fiction is a good movie. She gets stabbed with a adrenaline needle because she ODs on heroin. Is that a pregnancy test? Tampon. An energy board. Is that what they're called? Emery board. Okay. I've never knew what this thing's called. I know you use them to like file your fingernails. I just didn't know what they were called. I was like, what the hell is an energy board? That makes no sense. Oh, Jesus! It's red dye. It's wild color, red right hand, semi-permanent hair color. I mean, obviously it's going to be, nothing's going to be permanent.
Lonnie brought her hair dye over today. She said, I need to fix these roots. Think you could help? Dyeing hair is
Buckets.
weirdly intimate. I don't know if I've touched someone else's scalp before. That's pretty intimate, right? It felt intimate. We looked into the mirror together after, and I expected her to say something about how it looked crappy or good or whatever. But that's when she said, "You're so beautiful." And she was looking at me. Right in that moment, I wanted to say something, but I waited. And the moment was gone.
Touching someone's hair is somewhat intimate, but I don't know. There's this weird dichotomy that women in a lot of Western cultures have. I'm not sure about Eastern cultures. I can't really comment on those because I don't know those too well. But a lot of Western cultures are allowed to be more gay, essentially. They're allowed to be more intimate with their friends, with female friends. But men don't, just because they see it as gay, which is odd considering that the Spartans were gay, but the Spartans would braid each other's hair. They were renowned for having long, flowing locks. And the issue that I have is whenever people, debase things that as being gay, I'm like, the Romans, Greeks, Egyptians, Japanese were all gay, and the Romans, Greeks, and Egyptians in particular owned half the world. Now, obviously, we're doing something right, so I don't think that being gay in particular was a problem. And by being gay, I mean, there were different rules and different understandings of it. But there's a lot of hate for it, and I don't understand. Let people be people. You don't have to like it, and that's fine. But don't tell people how to live. Dear Jan, oh honey, let me tell you, I understand how you feel. Bob and I have had our down periods, but it's become a bit of a way of life. Actually, you get used to each other. I could have sworn that said weed. You get used to each other, you live your own lives in the same house, the kids grow up, they go away. I'm sorry this isn't helping, is it? Don't worry, Terry will get over whatever's distracting him, things will go back to normal, and as for Sam being distant, that's a teenager for you. Nothing to be worried about. In the meantime, though, this controlled burn, that sounds like quite the adventure. But let's cut to the chase. This new ranger they sent, that's what I want to talk about. Ranger Dick, you have to be kidding me. It's too perfect. You have to tell me everything and pictures, and send pictures. I want the whole package. Wait, that sounded wrong. Keep your chin up until Terry is out of his slump, and in the meantime, write more letters to your old friend Carol. She adores them, Carol. Mom and Dad were going to make up the guest room for you to stay in over the summer, but you came home on such short notice that they weren't around to do it. You can use my room if you want. I won't be needing it anymore. So I guess they moved while I was away. Sightings Journal, August 31st, 1994, at 1:19 a.m. A tall shadow in the upstairs hall. When I rounded the corner, no one was there. How tall was Uncle Oscar? Note, I was not wearing my glasses. 1994, September 3rd, a faint voice coming from the bottom of the stairs. I said hello, did not investigate, probably the furnace. September 9th, poured milk from the carton in the fridge. It was spoiled. Pretty sure I read that spirits can sour milk. Milk was just bought yesterday. Ooh. Also, ghost milk. Ooh. Lonnie says she feels a presence in the TV room. It suddenly began to feel cold. We build a protective pillow for it. October 22nd, Lonnie and I employ a Ouija board. I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Ouija. Everybody pronounces Ouija. I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Ouija. As a medium, disturbing messages are conveyed from the other side. Oscar is definitely here. October 28th, enlisted Lonnie to stay up all night and help patrol premises, recording any signs of otherworldly presence. Lonnie reported many sightings, but all remained unconfirmed. Possible ectoplasm in the attic, probably leaky roof. Sample taken just in case, probably due to leaky roof. Despite our best efforts, we both fell asleep around 4 a.m. All in all, a successful night. So this is what I mean. They keep adding like horror elements and horror tropes. Nothing ever happens. Hey Sam, you were asking what my JROTC ribbons meant. Here is a handy guide. Halloween show, Misfits. The Misfits, they're awesome. Don't forget your costume. Stygian Lounge. See you there.
Sometimes you just have to lie to Mom and Dad.
His parents just don't understand.
When Lonnie asked me to see a band with her and stay over at her friend's place in the city after. That's a lie to Mom and Dad's situation. But it was so worth it. The girls on stage were just so loud and real and awesome.
I like that they came out.
And everybody was moving together like one huge tide of sound. Between two songs, Lonnie leaned over and said, "How do you like your first show?" I was so happy. I felt tears starting in my eyes. And then she up and hugged me. I think she could tell.
Captain Allegra and the First Mate. Your costume, my costume. That's a good drawing. Oh, they actually made one. Lonnie, holy crap, I was in the library and I noticed a corner and I found a secret passage and it had Oscar's creepy old stuff in it. So you go to the library, which is downstairs. Oh my god, I've got to see this, we're skipping 6th. So that's what I said, that there's some secret passages and stuff, so I gotta go to Mom and Dad's room in the closet. Yes. Performance evaluation, Richard Hattermock. Janice Greenbrier is the supervisor. Knowledge and skill, communication, work ethic, safety procedures, punctuality, overall exemplary. Supervisor comments, Ranger Pattermock has been indispensable during the course of the prescribed burn, preparation, and execution. I believe his expertise and dedication have been the deciding factor in the success of a very complex and challenging conservation effort. In the opinion of the Flintlock Force staff, Rick's contribution to daily operations have become essential to the outfit's continuing success. To this end, I will be formally submitting paperwork requesting his permanent reassignment to this facility. Signed, Janice Greenbrier. So although Lonnie and Sam are the main story, there's actually a few side stories with the dad and with his book, and the mom with this ranger and the controlled burn. But it's not really focused on. There's no voice lines for it, but it's nice that there's extra things. Ghost Hunters, Sam and Lonnie, secret house investigation goal. Hidden compartments found. 3. One in the library, one in the upstairs, and one in the foyer. Foyer? Is it foyer or foyer? Evidence of the supernatural. Discovered? 0. The search continues. So I found one in the library, one's in the foyer, and one's in the upstairs hall. So yeah, I think there's one right over here. Again, I was ignoring that. Yeah. Because again, I'm trying to find these in order in that sheet. So 0. 1. Hello, hello. Who are you? Oscar. What do you want to do? To come back. To come back. Oh my gosh. So yeah, this is the only jump scare in the game. There you go. Like, it's a walking simulator, so you're supposed to be walking around doing things. And the game tries to make it nerve-wracking for no reason. The story is not about... It's about love, it's not about fear. So 051. It was 051, right? Yeah. There's the key to something. Basement key.
Lonnie came over today.
There's Lonnie.
But everything was... different.
Cigarettes.
She was sitting at my desk chair, and she wouldn't look at me.
That's a very 90s thing.
Finally, I asked her what was going on. She said she felt like she'd done something wrong that night in the city. Like I must think... But I said no. There was nothing wrong. I just wanted to say... But I couldn't find the words. I felt like I was gonna cry, but I wasn't sad. She got up and sat next to me on the bed. I looked at her. Lonnie.
You stole this.
Do you
I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that till now.
Could ever... And
thick
that's
call.
when she kissed me.
Yeah, I didn't realize this till... I've played this game a couple times. I've never realized this till now. You just stole this. So the reason she says gosh Sam is because there's this. So obviously she's discovering her sexuality. Yeah, so that's my big thing. A lot of this is tolerance and acceptance is... I generally don't care, and that's because, again, I've studied enough history. I've studied enough history. I'm not very religious, and there are people that struggle with it. They're like they want to, like they have friends or they have family, and they're struggling with it because their religion says that being gay or homosexual is wrong. And then they have people, and they love them.
It's
so
different now.
they have complications with it.
I mean, we still hang out all the time like before. But now when no one else is around... Well, So you could say we're dating. But it's secret. Secret dating?
Secret dating.
I don't know. I mean, I guess that's the real difference. Now when we get off the phone, or go home for the night, or it's just quiet and we're alone, we say I love you.
Sounds like dating to me. But yeah, my whole thing is There's a difference between tolerance and acceptance. So tolerance is things like, I don't like this and I don't agree with it, but I tolerate it because it doesn't really impact my life negatively. It's not really a problem. Like that. Like, why? Why? Why do you have that? Why do you put that in the game? Again, there's no other jump scares besides the one that I already did. Dear Samantha, I would like to cordially thank you for having me to your abode for the Thanksgiving holiday with your lovely family. I enjoyed the flavorful potatoes, and also it was weird being around your parents for that long, but it was pretty funny how impossible it was for your dad not to be awkward for more than 30 seconds at a time. Very cordially yours, your close friend and confidant, Lonnie D. A fancy man, quite. Dear Miss DeSoto, allow me to take this opportunity to thank you in kind for being such a gracious host for the festivities of your father's estate following the aforementioned meal with my parents. Your family's Thanksgiving feast was the more enjoyable of the two events, I must say. I especially appreciated the time I spent with your grandmother, who is a lovely woman with sterling taste and refined air. Let's do it again, same time next year, shall we? Indeed, Madam Samantha Greenbar, Esquire. So yeah, the difference between acceptance and tolerance is that acceptance is something that I accept as, you know, this is the right thing to do, this is proper, this is okay, and tolerance is, I don't necessarily agree with this or whatever, but I tolerate it because it doesn't negatively impact my life or truly matter. And that is the issue I have, is that when people think about gay, like, people always try to, like, again, for those of you who may not remember, people would say, if we let the gays get married, soon the horses are next. They're always something about animals and horses, which isn't true. And that's the issue I had, is like, people always like to go to extremes, and I don't know if you noticed, but people aren't marrying horses and animals. 14 karat gold heart pendant in 2 halves, customizable up to 10 letters, names, dates, initials. So this is for Lottie and Sam. They're matching lockets. Reed College, January 24, Samantha Greenbrier. Congratulations, I am pleased to inform you of your admission to the creative writing track of the Reed College Summer Program for Young Scholars in its 1995 session. We believe you to have much to contribute to the Reed College community based on your portfolio and academic record. I am also pleased to offer you financial aid to cover 75% of the summer program's tuitions and fees. I would have loved to got 75% damn fucking coverage. I got like $3,000, which was nothing. Oh, like overall throughout my year, throughout my college year, I got dunked on, and I had goddamn 3.575 in high school and 3.85 in college. I got nothing. The attached documentation delineates your schedule, optional secondary track choices, and your dormitory assignment. Please remember to submit the attached form if you wish to be eligible for one of the 3 Reed full-time undergraduate scholarships to be awarded to exemplary students at the end of each summer program. We very much look forward to your attendance again. Congratulations on your admission, and best wishes from all of us at Reed College. Sincerely, Julie Morris.
I'm so stupid sometimes.
Yep.
I was telling Lonnie that I got into my college summer program thing, and I was all making plans like, you should come visit me, stay in my dorm room. But she said, Sam, I ship out on June 6th. I was like, ship out? To where? She said, to basic training. What did you think I was doing all that ROTC stuff for? I guess she's been planning to join the army right after high school since she was like 12. And I guess she's really going to do it. So I was like, after graduation, I'm just never going to see you again? She said, let's just have fun while we can.
Let's just be casual, bro. So, dear Terrence, thank you for sending along a copy of your newly published book. An author's first published manuscript is a momentous occasion. I read it this afternoon. I certainly recognize my son in the subject matter. As an author's work is the externalization of that which he holds dear and that which he fears. And in this respect, I believe your work was successful. But the lens through which the personal shown was... God, I wish there was light here. Wait, can I go over here and read this thing? Give me some light, bitch. There we go. But the lens through which this personal shown was needlessly clouded by genre cliches and implausible dime store science fictional Deus Ex Machina. The great authors speak of their life's milieu, I don't know how to pronounce that, in clear and honest tones, the lens crystal that refracts their thoughts without distortion. I congratulate you on surviving the great ordeal that is publication, and rest assured that readers of your chosen genre will lap up copies hungrily. But I urge you to shed artifice. You can do better with a father's love and encouragement, Richard Greenbrier. Is that what you punched out his thing? So this is the dad's book, and obviously the grandfather was not very happy with it. So I think this is the one that immediately cuts off. No. Yolanda de Soto, Miss Samantha Greenbrier. Dear Sam, today's Spanish lesson X-Fly Mosca X Hudcap Tappa Cubs. I have no idea what's going on here. I'm so happy you liked the drawing. I was thinking of you when I drew it. I knew you'd be able to tell. You loved Mexico, I think probably. The nature here is totally different than back home. I keep thinking about Allegra and the first mate lost on a mysterious island where even the plants are about to get them. And then I think of them together out there in the wilderness together, and I start thinking of you again. I lie here in bed and almost feel you and have been trying to save it up for when we are together again, but I haven't done a good job, okay? But I tried. You're disgusting. Okay, but enough about that. Your last letter got to me the day before we started driving back north. We will be racing this letter home. If I get home first, we can read it together. And yes, I'm taking tons of photos. We'll have to spend so much time together in the dark room. Lonnie. Now, this is the one that cuts off really quickly. And you'll see why. It's like a drug. The first time was in my room in the middle of the night. I woke up, Lonnie was kissing me, the clock at 3:30. Her face was spectral and dim and light, that I could only feel her. Yeah. So it's talking about the first time having sex, and obviously she cuts up. And if you try to read it again, she's like, nope. Okay, not reading any more of that. Girl Scout, the band formerly known as Cub Scout, set list, role model, authority, main squeeze. That's their
Todd's band lost their singer. Todd said he sucked. Lonnie said he got sick
son.
of Todd's shit. And he was complaining about needing a new singer. So Lonnie was like, I can sing. And they were all kind of like, you can? And she was like, probably. But she's been rehearsing with them for like a week now. And I finally got to see them play in Todd's basement today. And she's actually really amazing. I feel so proud when she's on stage. It's incredible being in awe of someone you love. So everybody knows it's like a temporary situation till she ships out in June. But till then, I'm gonna be at every single show.
So I don't remember how to get the combination for this thing. Samantha Greenbrier. Fine Julia. So she got the pendant. Yeah. I don't remember how to get the combination for this, because I think it is pretty hidden or obscure how to find. So basically what's in here are some pharmaceuticals and some stuff for the uncle, I think. Whoever had this house, Oscar, yeah. So stuff for Oscar. And there's some notes in there, I think, that talk about him being like insane or kind of a shut-in. But yeah, I don't remember how to get the combination for that, because that's pretty obscure to get from what I remember. Mason Pharmacy, January 1968. There's an extra radiator. Those things are heavy. I've had to move those and take those out before. They're heavy. My dad's house had them. That's how they used to heat the house. Hey Sam, I'm writing to you this from Moltrock Falls. I don't know where that is. I guess Oregon? Yeah. I'm here on a stupid class trip, which is stupid because it's March and I don't know if anybody running this school has been to Oregon, but it's cold and rainy as shit in March. Wish you were here. Oh wait, you are here because I'm writing this to you in the gift shop. Oh shit, I guess here. Love you? Love you lots? I have no idea what the last bit. Lottie.
They tell you to stick with the group on field trips, Katie.
There's a reason for that.
There's a reason for that. Lonnie and I snuck off on the side paths at Multnomah Falls and got a little lost. Okay, a lot lost. Like, for hours. Right before the bus left, we found a trail and came running down the path, soaked and covered in mud, shouting for the bus not to leave. The school called home. Mom and Dad said, you didn't get into trouble like this before you met that Lonnie girl.
Always Lonnie's
But
fault.
I don't think they know about us. The kids at school, though, I'm really afraid that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
Stick with the group, Katie. Stick with the group.
So that's one big thing, is if you were a social pariah if you were found out in school. Dear Ms. Greenbrier, I appreciate the time and effort you put into writing your letter. It showed an initiative and it was well written, but it does not change my mind about this matter. While I understand that Miss DeSoto is a friend of yours, the fact of the matter is she defaced school property with profanity. The fact that she allegedly defaced her own locker in retaliation for another student doing the same to yours is immaterial. As to your complaint that no other student has been punished for their part in the incident, the fact is no guilty party has come forward and there's been no convincing evidence who might have defaced your locker. In other words, there's no one to punish. I would suggest letting this issue drop, as it will only bring more unwanted attention on yourself, which I believe is what you claim began this whole incident in the first place.
I don't get Lonnie sometimes. Like, her band, and our zine, and her hair, and everything are all anti-authority. But I watch her in JROTC, and she's doing drills in perfect formation, following orders, no question. And there's all this stuff in the news about don't ask, don't tell. Like, she's going to join the army and then have to lie about who she is. She said they don't need to know what they don't need to know. Like it was no big deal. This from the girl who trashed her locker to, defend my honor.
Huh.
I've learned when to stop arguing, though.
I completely forgot about that one.
I don't think Lonnie even gets Lonnie sometimes.
Right? I guess this is the locker room, right? Okay. Yep. Perfect. I'm gonna say, I didn't make any progress. I didn't go anywhere. Froth. Music and culture. Tincture? I have no idea what that means. Tincture. Offer promotion, Bruce Paddleton, Head of Personal State of Forestry Service, Deer Head Conservational Greenbrier. Due to your exemplary management of the Flintlock prescribed burn operation last year and the service's need for experienced personnel to direct regional operations, we would like to offer you the position of Regional Conservation Management Director, responsible for the operation throughout Northwest Oregon. Not the Northwest Oregon, just Northwest Oregon. Your assistance would be sought to fill your previous position on-site at the Flintlock National Forest. I'm really struggling reading this thing. Your new posting would be at the Regional Management Building located at 128 Bullhorn Road, which would be much more convenient for your daily commute. Please respond as soon as possible regarding your decision. We look very much forward to your reply. Signed, Bruce Paddleton. Man, I just lost it. Hey Lonnie, sorry my mom was such a bitch last night. She's hardly ever around since her forest is like an hour away, and then when she is home she takes it out on you, because you're not my member of the family. She knows you won't call her out on it, and I'm sorry. It's okay. I know she's just jealous of our cool and freewheeling lifestyles. I feel sorry for you. I'm lucky my mom lives in Florida. You have a mom every day. I never had a mom. Sorry, I didn't mean to bring up the mom thing like that. I know I shouldn't complain. No, I'm being serious. My mom is a psycho Christian and her new husband, Dawn, is a complete tool. Living in Florida with him is her eternal punishment in my mind. So, you wouldn't rather live with your mom in Florida? No. Wait. Is there anything down here I missed? Nope. Wait, isn't there... Yeah, something here. Thursday, Inside Edition documentary, investigating team visits camp where specialists help adolescents overcome deviant behavior and homosexuality.
Katie, you know how Mom and Dad are. Not exactly
I ain't no shit, son.
Open-minded about things. It feels like every minute I don't spend with Lonnie, I spend worrying about them finding out about us. And what would happen if they did? You know Dad's joke about the nunnery that he'd tell whenever he brought boys around the old house? I wonder where he'd want to send me.
Oh, so being, impure and not being a virgin. Hi, Jen. I got 2 tickets for EWF on Thursday, but my girlfriend says she doesn't want to go. Her taste in music rears its ugly head again. So, that leaves me with an extra ticket that I thought you might be interested in more than... whatever. More fun than clearing brush in the freezing rain, right? Rich. So yeah, there's implications that she was either cheating or potentially cheating on her husband. The mom was. Sam, this skull was the coolest thing I found in Mexico, and it was like $3 American. I love it. Merry Xmas, miss you. Treasured always. This is St. Peter's Basilica. The Vatican is weird. It certainly is. I've been there myself. Wasn't a fan. As you can see, the Catholic Church still has a lot of money left over from the Middle Ages. They certainly do. They have an incredible amount of money, gold, sculptures, and stuff that they've basically stolen. I've gotten to see it all of the art, including the Sistine Chapel, ceiling, and the sculptures by Michelangelo, Donatello, and the rest of the Ninja Turtles. Mom will have... What? Weird, Mom. Mom, we'll have to come back together. I would love to be here with someone who really appreciates the history behind everything. Also, Sam, they have various relics as in pieces of important dead people, so you should probably come too. Next up, Barcelona. Calm down, Dad. I won't get gored by a bull. Probably. Love, Katie. Wait, she said something else. God, no butts in heaven. Plenty of dicks, though. So that was Michelangelo's thing. Michelangelo did not want to do the Sistine Chapel. He did not want to do artwork. He did not want to do anything for the church. But then the church at that time was the ruling power. And so they said, like, listen, man, we can make your life really miserable. I said, fine, I'll do it. But I'm going to draw dicks everywhere, though. Sam, since you refused to hear us out this afternoon, your mother and I are putting this in writing so that we are absolutely clear. You are grounded for the rest of the month from SOAL and telephone. I have no idea. Social and telephone privileges, and from using your car for any time except going to and from school. We understand what you are going through, but we can't allow you to continue with this kind of behavior at school. And clearly, once your privileges are reinstated, we can't allow you to have your beloved door closed while Lonnie is at the house. This is the last word on the matter. Get back on course, so we won't have to do this again. Did they find out, I guess? Distributing inappropriate materials on school grounds. Phone call to students' parents. Out of school supervision. 424 to 428. Yeah, so they found out.
Interesting talk with Mom and Dad tonight. One you were never gonna need to have. I mean, you've known, right? I've known. I've known since,
No, it's funny, it's patriarchy.
Mom and Dad didn't, I guess. But they saw the zine and the stuff on the locker, and they were like, is there something we should know about you and Lonnie? And so here's the thing.
We're butt buddies.
I was prepared for them to be mad, or disappointed, or start crying, or something. But they were just in denial. You're too young to know what you want.
Yep, that's
You and Lonnie are
accurate.
just good friends. You just haven't met the right boy.
Yep.
It's a phase. That's what I didn't see coming. That they wouldn't even respect me enough to believe me. Well, joke's on them, because they're in for one very long phase.
There's one thing I started talking about earlier that I didn't finish, is that one, you need to give your teenagers space and rights and privileges and stuff. Obviously, if they're doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing, you know, like distributing porn at school, yeah, obviously you gotta cut back on that and ground them, that's fine. But the problem is that parents have this idea of like, you live in my house, my rules, you do everything I say. And I'm like, well, that's what causes them to push back, because they are becoming... It's this weird dichotomy you have where you tell them you're adults or you're becoming adults, you need to go to college, pick a career for the next 30 years, figure out what you want to do in life, but you still got to ask her to the bathroom. And so you have this issue where they don't feel like people, because you don't treat them like people. And as much as old people go, well, you don't know any better, like, neither do you. Trust me, as someone who used to teach, dealing with teachers was miserable because they would be just as stubborn and obstinate and just ridiculous as the students were. And they don't know, and you typically don't know better. In the sense that, like, you don't know necessarily what they're going through. I will never be able to tell what a queer or LGBTQ person is going through, because I don't deal with it. I am a white cis male, and it's pretty great. I don't gotta deal with that. I just live my life, and no one really questions it. I don't understand what it's gotta be like to be, basically a minority. First off, congratulations, Jen is Greenbrier Regional Director, and I say congratulations because, come on, you've got to take the job, right? What are you waiting for, an engraved invitation? Call them back. But in the meantime, let's discuss this little outing you had with our little favorite flannel-clad hunk. What a blast, but you sound like you're reading a lot into an innocent night out. You sure there's something there? You said he has an out-of-town girlfriend. You sure they're not serious? Okay, so we have to figure out when we'll see each other next in person. Enough with the letters. I owe you a congratulatory margarita. Bars, lady. Bars, lady? I guess that's bars, lady. Soon, Carol. But yeah, so like I'll never know what it's like, but at the same time, like I do, like again being an adult, I have wisdom. I've been through experience. I've experienced some stuff. But the issue is that people are so dismissive of teenagers and their feelings and their emotions and also their knowledge. And guess what? It runs both ways. What happens is teenagers become old enough to see through your shit too. They see that you're not perfect. They see that you have flaws. They see that you also lie and cheat and steal, and they throw that back in your face. And people don't like that. And that's one of the things is that they go, no, you just don't know what you know yet. Like, do you? Are you certain? Because I've seen that mom, you're cheating on dad. Are you sure that this is what you wanted? And people get real mad when you throw shit back in their face and you prove them wrong. Don't give up on this, honey. The accidental warrior. Oh, we got the third one. Go for the trilogy. So that is my advice as someone who taught and had students that massively respected him. Even students that were hard and difficult and, you know, were shits. They respected him a certain amount. It's because I respected them as people. So, do that. At the very least, you need to respect and understand your kids and talk with them, listen to them, and understand them. Otherwise, you will always have problems. He's gonna leave empty, disgusting pizza boxes around? This thing's greasy. This should probably moldy by now. Throw this thing away. Samantha and Daniel. Oh, this is an old one. Samantha and Daniel were in the woods one day. It was sunny, and they were on an adventure. But they went to the bad part of the woods, and it got dark. Daniel said, "Are you scared?" Scared. So Samantha said, "No, are you?" And they laughed. Interesting. And went more into the bad part. Then they went to a part that was never there before, and there was a ship, a pirate ship, on an ocean. Samantha said, interesting, they put a comma there. "I'll be the captain, you be the first mate." Daniel said, "I am captain." And they went on the pirate ship and started sailing away. Oof, oof,
Daniel
oof.
finally came over to get his game.
Miserable.
I'd been dreading it. But he brought this story with him that I wrote when we were little. I started reading it, and then there I was, crying at the kitchen table. He asked what was wrong, and I was thinking about how we used to be friends, how much I'd taken for granted.
Brain fiber. Honey
But
stamps.
instead, I told him about school, and Dad, and Lonnie. And then how sorry I was that I wasn't his friend anymore. He gave me a hug and said it was going to be okay. For some reason, I almost believed him.
Almost. Quasi. So, from Bruce Paddleton, Dear Regional Conservation Director Greenbrier, having received your formal acceptance letter, I'd like to congratulate you on your new position as Regional Conservation Director of the State Forestry Service. We wish you luck in your final weeks at Flintlock National Forest, and very much look forward to welcome you at your new desk in the State Forestry Office at 8 a.m. Monday, May 1st. So anniversary trip, I think this is their anniversary trip. So Katie comes home this month. We'll call with exact date. Can't make it. Send regrets. Rick's wedding. So they planned an anniversary trip. Jesus. Alright, dear Mr. Greenbrier, first let me say that I hope this missive finds you well. Hell, it feels like a goddamn miracle that it finds you at all. Do you know how long we've been trying to track you down? Worry not, we aren't the feds, the men in black, or any other sort of creeping fascist hobgoblins. In fact, we're on your side. Let me start from the beginning. Unknown Dimensions is what you might call a specialist publishing house. We track We traffic in the weird, the ahead of its time, the lost but forgotten by a small but dedicated group of plugged-in bibliophiles, type of out-there mass market, shunning visionaries' expression that refuses to be taken on anything but its own terms. We've had an unparalleled run since our inception 4 years ago, unearthing and reviving Christ or zombie-like timeless works such as NN, Best Man Message of Snake Man, It's Inside Me by Jens Keller, and Emil Krieger's oft band Venusian Flesh Traders. Gross. But ever since we discovered the tattered copies of your Accidental series at a church rummage sale in Long Beach, New Jersey, we've been trying to track down the author of this weird and dark American outsider art. It's just the kind of forgotten portal into the 20th century civilization's anxieties and delusions that our readers lose in their minds over. James Bond and Harrison Ford might be the dick-swinging heroes that the modern suburban American wants, but John Russell, mild-mannered insurance agent by day, reckless history-revising sociopath by night, is the twisted peacekeeper that it deserves. It is our mission to bring him back to life. Okay, so I've typed plenty. What do we want from you? We want your permission to reprint the work. Since your original publisher, Mercury Books, folded a decade ago, we want you to supply a new forward for the books, to appear in brand new editions of The Accidental Savior, The Accidental Pariah, to be produced by Unknown Dimensions as a limited run and marketed directly to our highly discerning customer base, and we want to offer you a portion of the proceeds, contract to follow, assuming you're interested in coming along with this weird odyssey. We look forward to embarking with you and to thrusting your work screaming back into the that's all, right? Into the sweating palms of unsuspecting American public. It's about time. Blast off. Medish Kaczynski, publisher, Unknown Dimensions. Too much reading. Grab lid. Put this back on. Is there a thing here? Hey man, I didn't tell you to do that. There is a ghost here. Ask me about clown combos. Grab the milk. So you have a trash can. You just put the pizza box in here? You disgusting people. Sam, your mother and I will be away for a long weekend celebrating our anniversary, June 3 to 7. We will be camping in the Gorge, but we will give you a call on the way home. Sorry, the kitchen is still mid-renovation. Never trust a contractor. $40 is on the table for order pizza while you're gone. Be good. Well, I guess that makes sense, considering that the teenager was the one who left the pizza box on there. That's still disgusting. You should train your kids better. Booted out a going away show for Lonnie, Girl Scout all ages.
Lonnie had her going away show with her band tonight. She's so incredible on stage. When she was singing, I could practically forget everything. That we only had 48 hours left. That I don't know what comes next. That I can't live without her. Then she dedicated the last song to me. And I couldn't take it. I was out on the curb in the alley, sobbing till my ribs hurt. I would follow her anywhere, Katie. But I can't. Where she's going. After a long time, she found me. She said she was sorry. She said, I wish things could be different. I just wanted to make you happy. I said, I don't think you can anymore.
Suck it. Oh, it just fell through. Read note. Sam, I wish I knew how to explain it better. The army is the thing I grew up with. It's part of me. My dad's army friends are like family. I've always known it's where I would end up. I'd never thought of it any other way. I wish things could be different. Maybe someday when I'm settled at a base and you're done with college and you're a famous writer and I can rebuild a tank engine with my eyes closed, things will be different and we could be together. Until then, Lottie. Strong Pines, a couple in council's retreat in the beauty of Columbia, George, June 3rd to the 7th. Yes, so this is where it comes into play that they skipped the wedding because they need to go fix their marriage. Where we'll do it. Under the stairs, secret door, midnight, June 5th. Final preparations are
We
complete.
agreed our last night together would be our happiest ever. And we'd forget tomorrow was going to come at all. It worked for a while.
Where's the duck?
We had a good time seeing Oscar off. then ran up to the attic to look through our photos.
Is it
To
not
find
here?
one
It might
for
be in the
Lonnie to
garage.
take with her. And looking at them, I realized they were all in the past. And there wouldn't be any more.
Where is it?
And I didn't know what I was
Wait,
going to
are you
do. And I cried. And she held me. She said she knew it was hard, but life would move on. I said I didn't want my life to keep moving without her.
Wait, yep.
That's when she cried too.
Where
I
is
was so exhausted. I must have fallen asleep like that, in her arms. In the morning, I woke up, and I was finally alone.
And now it's sad. There's supposed to be a basketball somewhere. Isn't it supposed to be in here? In the rafters? There's a hat. So either it is here and I'm just missing it, which is a possibility, or it's somewhere else and I just forget where it is. Oh,
I asked Lonnie what she had
Did
to
not know
do
that.
to get ready to ship out for basic training. She said, not a lot, really. You're not
Okay.
allowed to bring anything with you. You have no possessions, no contact with the outside world while you're in basic. You just train hard every day, and then you deploy from there. So, they'll just send her away. To who knows where. The other side of the country, the other side of the world. My mind,
I get it.
can't process it. She's really going to be gone. Just gone.
She's not dead. Shit. Alright, how do I get this? Because I can't throw something far enough to get to it. Can I charge up my throw? Oh well. I'll figure that out later. I would have thinking something along Fato, something like that. Possession and exorcism. Christine Quinn interacting with the supernatural and releasing unwanted spirits. So, why would you want to release an unwanted spirit? Goddamn white people. Oscar, Mason's Pharmacy. This is a picture of Oscar. Some chalk. Put that away. Give me the key.
The sunset light in this house is the saddest thing I've ever seen. I just want to sleep. When I'm in the attic, it almost feels like Lonnie could still be here. She's just downstairs. I'm just waiting to hear her pull down the hatch and come running up. Maybe I'll go up to the attic and wait.
0451. Open the attic. Boop, 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 boop. Read this. Stay strong, I love you. From Lonnie, kick ass. Sam, I'll always remember what we had.
Oh my god. Katie, I fell asleep in the attic, in Lonnie and my old spot, and I missed the first 2 calls. I just barely caught the third one before the machine got it. And it was Lonnie, on a payphone. She'd been on the bus to basic, and she said she couldn't think of anything but me and us, and that she couldn't go through with it, with the army and being a part and all of it. And so she got off the bus in Salem. She said, Sam, I want you to pack up everything you can and get in your car and come find me. And let's just drive until we find somewhere for us. And she asked me if I could do that. And I said yes. Yes.
And then here's the last one. Do not read if you're not Katie.
Katie, I'm so sorry that I can't be there to see you in person, that I can't tell you all this myself. But I hope as you read this journal and you think back, that you'll understand why I had to do what I did. And that you won't be sad, and you won't hate me, and you'll just know that I am where I need to be. I love you so much, Katie. I'll see you again. Someday. Love, Sam.
Alright, we're back here. I had to look it up. For some reason, you need the milk carton is, from my understanding, is that you need the milk carton instead of any random object. I don't know why you can't throw a pencil or a highlighter far enough. Yeah. Nothing else would go far enough, so you have to get that. And then we can grab this. And then you can clearly see that I have no hands. Dunk it, son.
Meow, meow. Meow, meow. Meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, meow. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, meow. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow.
Look at them bangs. So you can clearly hear the voice actor break. Yeah, so that's just an Easter egg. You get the basketball, shoot it in there, and it does a weird cat thing. But that's gonna do it for Gone Home. Again, I like the story. I think it's very realistic and well done, especially for teenagers. You know, teenagers being in young love and not really understanding the implications of life. And as much as, again, I give credence and trust and autonomy to teenagers, especially when it comes to the kind of their own decisions, this is one of those situations where a parent should have came in and said, maybe you shouldn't join the military because you're gonna have to lie about who you are the entire time. You're never gonna be able to be with Sam, and you're never gonna be happy. That's one of the times where a parent should come in and be like, this is maybe what you should do. I think it is very realistic. Some people decried it as not realistic. I disagree. I think it's very realistic. As someone who used to be a teenager and had relationships, and as someone who's watched it happen, and again, as a teacher, that's typically how it happens. You start out with, as friends, typically, you kind of grow to like each other, and then things just happen, and then they don't know what to do, especially if it's a first love. You don't want to be away from each other. Doesn't mean it's going to last, but I personally enjoy that Lonnie decided that, the military isn't for her and that she would rather be with Sam, and they'll figure it out. Life may take a turn, but that's life. As someone who's, again, 27 and been through a lot of shit, life takes turns. Anybody who tells you they have a plan and that plan goes perfectly is either a liar or insanely rich. Life does not go the way you expect it to. But other than that, Gone Home, very well done. I don't like the horror elements in it. As I mentioned before, a lot of the horror elements are pretty much unnecessary. They take away from the game, since the story is so unrevolved or unconnected to that aspect of the horror elements, where things would creak. Like, I'm fine with the rain and the lightning because it gives sound, and it can make it a little spooky or like unnerving, and that's fine. The problem is with the red lights, with a lot of darkness, with the constant creaking, and like the very purposely put stuff to make you nervous or tension. Why? It doesn't make any sense why you put this in this game. This game does not revolve around that, so it really takes away from that, and you can turn off a lot of players that would have possibly bought and played your game if they didn't think that it was a scary game for no reason. So other than that, there's not a lot I gotta say. In terms of that, it's a walking simulator, it's all story-based. I'm pretty sure I got all the main story entries, and for the ones that I didn't find, I talked about the ones that I don't remember how to get the safe in the basement for that, that kind of thing. But other than that, I enjoy it. It's a nice little adventure. I hope you guys did too. Thanks everybody for watching. I'll see you guys next time. What did I tell you, I'm nice.